Hi guys, we're going to practice factoring with distributive property variables from our Khan Academy homework. All right, let's get started. So we're asked to apply the distributive property to factor out the greatest common factor. So just as like a sidebar, remember distributive property, if we're asked to distribute as like an example, for example, that could be like 4x times 3y minus 5. I don't know, something random, right? If we're distributing, what we're doing is we're taking that term that's right outside, right in front of the parentheses, because these are being multiplied. We're taking that term, and to distribute, we're multiplying it or distributing it evenly to all of the terms that are inside the parentheses. In this case, there are two terms, because remember, a term is separated by an addition or subtraction sign. So if we had like 3y minus 5 plus x, then that would be three terms we would need to distribute. In this case, just two, so 4x times 3y, so we multiply the coefficients first. 4 times 3 is going to be 12, and then just x times y. And let's see, 4x times negative 5, it's going to give us a negative. Negative times positive, negative. 4 times 5 is 20, and then we're going to leave that x. So this is what it would look like if we are distributing. But in this case, it's almost like we're thinking about it as like reverse distribution, because we're starting here and now we want our answer to be this, right? So again, kind of visualizing working backwards, right? So to factor is kind of just meaning we're dividing. It would be the inverse operation, so divide. Whereas distribute is meaning to multiply. We're multiplying. All right, so our goal is to factor. We want to divide, factor, seeing what they have in common, specifically the greatest common factor. So again, lots of different ways we can do this. In class, I would have shown you guys the upside down cake method, which I think is my preferred method. But again, lots of different ways. If it's just obvious, you can just go for it. All right. So if not so obvious, let's see. Starting with, remember the coefficients. So start with coefficients. Right? Start with the number that's in front, just to keep it simple, because I know it's looking a little crazy. So between 16 and 20, we're thinking, what do they both have in common? What number could we divide out of both of them? If you didn't know right off the bat, we could tell they're both even. You could divide out of 2 and then another 2. But looking at this, I can see that 4 is going to go in evenly. So we're going to work that out first. So divide out 4. So 16 divided by 4 is going to leave us with 4. We'll have G. 20H divided by 4 is going to be 5H. And now this is what we're left with. So again, we always want to start with coefficients. We're scanning 4 and 5. Anything else in common? No. 5 is prime. Done with coefficients. All right, next we're going to look at variables. Beautiful. Variables. So we've got a G and an H, and we're asking ourselves, do they have anything in common? Well, if they were the same variable, same letter, then yes, but they're not the same letter. So in this case, this was all we could do. So 4 times 4G plus 5H. All right, if we were to distribute, we would get back to where we started. So again, they're asking us to factor out the greatest common factor. Because this is saying that this side, this expression is equal to blank, that's telling us we're going to need to include all of this jazz, right? They're not only asking for the greatest common factor, we wanted to factor it completely, right? Because if I just said this equals 4, that wouldn't be correct, right? Because that's not the same, right? Where's the G, where's the H? We need to include all of this. So I'm going to write that out. So 4 parenthesis 4G plus 5H. Let's try it out. So 4 parenthesis 4G plus 5H. I meant to add this back in. All right, so we checked. It was correct. All right, so use this video reference while you continue working out the rest of the problems. As always, if you have a question, let me know. You guys got this. Bye.